Hi everyone, it's Jill Foster here for Penny Black, and I'm so excited to be sharing with you my prep process for how I love to mass produce unique Christmas cards. So, if you're looking for all the how-tos on these Christmas cards, make sure you're subscribed here on a channel. On our channel, we will be coming out with how-to videos and the sort of the creating and painting of all of these wonderful Christmas cards for you. But this video is all about how I prepare to mass produce lots and lots of Christmas cards, but continue to enjoy the process, to not get bored with the process, but to also be able to make lots of new cards. So I'm just going to share with you exactly how I do this. So the first thing that I like to do is to pick my focal points. This limits my supplies and reduces my decision fatigue. And so this is where I am picking stamps I love and I'm excited about. So I am using Penny Black's newest release, their Christmas 2025 release, and I have just picked out all these stamps. I love with Penny Black you have a variety of designs. You can mix and match these together. They're all quality images, so every card you create is going to really be a wonderful, beautiful card. And I grab all of these are my focal points, and I put them in a photo box, and I have that on my desk. So that's the first step. Either get new stamps, shop your stash, a little bit of both. Then get your paper ready. So for stamps I intend to use cutout dies with, I cut my paper so it fits through my die cutting machine. And so you can see here, these are my cutting plates, and I have my watercolor paper trimmed down to fit that. If I'm going to use cutout dies, this is also a great time to use up my stash. So I keep all my scraps and I can pull those out and stamp on those. Then I also cut paper the size of card sizes, so standard and 5x7, and have those ready. Then I'm going to go through and just pre-stamp and color all of these focal points. And so you can see here, this is on that paper where I'm going to be using cutout dies, and I just stamp all of these. I did everything on Canson 140-pound cold press watercolor paper, and I stamped everything with Memento Toffee Crunch ink. Those are my favorites, but you can use whatever you prefer. If you use Copic markers, use your favorite Copic paper and ink to stamp. If you like a black outline, stamp them all with a black outline. So you can see I've got a mixture here, and then here a few I've already colored, but these are all the focal point ones I'm planning to use with cutout dies. Then on those card panels that are 4¼ by 5½ inches, those are on the right, and 5x7 on the left, I also pre-stamp those in the way I want them to look on the card. So you can see I pre-stamped them and I pre-colored. Now, like I said, we'll have videos coming up in the future where I show you my painting process using Penny Black's liquid watercolor inks. But this is just, I wanted to show you the whole prep process in advance in case you wanted to play along. So you can see I have cards that are going to be pretty much one layer cards where the image is stamped and colored right on that card sized panel. And I have those ones stamped and colored that I plan to cut out. A little bit of variety there in design. So you can see here, these are all the ones I just showed you, and they are all painted in. And so I'll just give you a look here. You can see, oops, sorry there, get the camera focused. You can see that I have just colored these in. Sometimes from a particular stamp set, I may do multiples of that, especially if it's like a flower or branches or berries. Those are so handy just to have, where you can mix and match those on different cards. You'll see here too, there is a mix like that snowman with the bunny. I did that on a card panel, a pre-sized card panel, and also on this paper where I plan to use the cutout dies. So don't be afraid to use the same stamp in different ways as well. Just get more out of your stamps. I have to say this is probably the most fun I've had making Christmas cards in a really long time, because I just started out with all of these amazing, amazing images and didn't have to have any cards in mind, and I could just stamp them and color them and just thoroughly enjoy those images. Now these are those panels again where I pre-stamped and colored those on an actual card size panel. This one I plan to put the bird on top, so I'm keeping it with that. Notice when I stamp these, sometimes I center the image, but I usually try to put them off to the left or off to the top or the bottom, leaving room for a sentiment. So you can see there, don't be afraid to have part of the image go off the edge of your card panel. That will just add more interest when you go to use it and also leave you room to add some die cut snowflakes or to add your sentiment, some stenciling. Just really, really fun. And as you can see, I will put a link for you where I share all of these cards once they're finished and the exact stamps and dies that are used on everything. That's over on the Penny Black blog. So in the YouTube description box below, if you're wanting to add any of these to your list or to your box, if you're prepping like me, I'll list that for you down below. So now you're going to have a cutout session. So I took all those ones that I planned to use the cutout dies for, and I just sat with my die cutting machine, turned on a podcast, and just cut all those out. And it really doesn't take that long when you do that assembly line style. Now, a tip I would like to mention is put these in some kind of a tray. I think I got this at like the dollar store for appetizers, but put what you've colored and cut out somewhere where you're going to see them and be inspired to use them to go on to the next step. It's also a way you don't lose any little pieces like that little bird, and it's just really fun for the next step. It's sort of like creating your own like embellishments that you would put on a card. If you scrapbook, this is a really fun way to create embellishments for your scrapbook pages using your stamps and cutout dies. So you can see I've kind of sorted them by like more cutesy images, critters, to like holly, berries, sprigs, and then larger, more elegant images on the right hand side there with like the bird and the candle. Next, I'm going to pick my sketches. So I love to use sketches as a starting point, and I just printed out the sketches this time and put them in a page protector. So what I use, I'm going to use this sketches from this ebook. I'll link it for you down below, and there are videos for all of those sketches as well. I'll link that playlist for you down below, but I just decided to rejuvenate some sketches that I already know I love. So these are the ones I'm using: Border Beauty, Frame Filler, the Edger Ease sketch, the letter O filler sketch. And again, these are all from that ebook, and I'll link it for you down below. The shiplap structure sketch, and the snowy scene, and the stencil sensation. So you could pick any sketch or any card designs that you know you really, really love, narrow it down. I did like 7. And then I'm going to put those in page protectors. And then I'm going to kind of create the structure for those sketches. I have my focal points done. So this is where I look at those sketches and think, how do I want to sort of interpret these sketches this time? So this is where I'm looking at frame die cuts, any of those kind of things. And then I also decide, of those images that I've already colored, which sketches do I want to use them with? So here I've cut out our new frame dies, and I'm going to use this for this particular sketch, sort of as the structure for all these card designs. I went ahead and cut all of these out. I'm just using Canton 140-pound watercolor paper for everything. And I cut all of these out, and then I just put those in an envelope. I love these new frame dies, by the way. You're going to see them on lots of different cards throughout these sketches, so they don't have to be for just one particular type. There you can see here where I've then went through my tray of cutout designs and decided, where do I like these? Oh, I think they fit well with these frames, so I'm going to put them inside of this page protector. Again, just limiting the decisions to one small set of decisions at a time and sort of batching those decisions. Which sketches do I want? Print them out, put them in the page protectors. What am I going to use for the structure of that sketch? Print them out, or die cut them out and put them inside of there. Then all I have to do is grab this packet when I'm ready to make the cards. So this is the shiplap structure sketch, but I'm not going to use the shiplap this time. So again, you don't have to interpret the sketch exactly the same way. So instead of that shiplap sort of background piece for the sketch, I'm going to use our semicircle frame die. So I went into my stash and looked for what is in my stash that I can use, keep this interesting and fun. And then this is our ribbon stacker die, and went ahead and pre-cut out, 3, 4 of each one. Then I went through and decided which images do I want to use with this. I think I'll do these sort of cute images, create sort of a little scene on there. And then I also grabbed some embellishments. These are some newer die cuts of ours that I thought these might look cute with these cards. So I'll just cut a few of those and stick them in the envelope. Now you're not committing that you have to use any of these. Once you get to making the cards, you can grab different things from your stash. You can totally change your mind, but this just keeps the process rolling for me, and some decisions are made, and it's just less decisions each time, and I'm not looking at a blank card and going, what do I want to make many, many times in a row. So this is the frame filler sketch, and I decided I would use our layered frames for this to sort of reimagine or reinterpret this sketch. And so I cut those out. Again, everything from that watercolor paper. And now each of these sort of page protectors you're seeing me pull out, I will have a video for each one of these coming up. So make sure you're subscribed, and I will walk you through the card from the beginning to the end for each one of these envelopes that I'm pulling out, or page protectors. This is the letter O filler sketch. This is a favorite of mine for Christmas time. So I went back into my stash. This is one thing I love about Penny Black products, is that they never go out of style. So if you make an investment in a die cut, in a stamp design, you can keep returning to it over and over, and it never looks like old or like an old trend. It will just keep its quality and its look over time. So these are from my stash, Penny Black products from my stash, and I went ahead and die cut out several of those. I like to do about 3 for these sentiments because I like to layer them up so they're a little bit thicker. It gives dimension to the card. So I thought, okay, I cut those out. Now, which of those images that I've already stamped and colored would I want to use with these? So I played around with those, really fun, grabbing them from the tray, mixing and matching different ones. And this is what I came up with. This is sort of my tentative plan to begin with. Thinking, how could I use these? So then I have a separate envelope that I will keep these in and put them into the page protector. And for me, this whole process is really fun. It's fun playing around with what will fit, which ones do I want to use. So this is the snowy scene sketch, and I've got the page protector there. And let me pull out my things. I have an envelope of the images I picked out for it, and then an envelope with just sort of the structural pieces. And this is really easy. This is our festive family die cut. Again, from my stash. I've used it many, many years, still love it. It's a great investment. And I cut several of those, and then I decided which one of those images that are left do I want to use for a snowy scene. So I grabbed a variety. You can see you can also mix and match styles. I've got teddy bears, snowmen, a elegant Christmas tree, and all of those are going for that sketch. Now this is an edger sketch, so our edgers are really fun die cut where you can cut the edge, sort of the top or the border above the sentiment, and then also you have a sentiment. And so we have a new one, a Christmas edger, and it has, which I'm showing you here, you can cut that border at any height on your card, on a standard size card. And then it also comes with the die cut word Christmas, so you can, this is great for so many cards. There's also a sentiment stamp set that goes with it, so it has all those sort of fun secondary sentiments. For this one, I also decided to pull one of those card panels that I will use this structure for, sort of that bottom portion being different, so like that instead of an edger, I'm going to do some torn paper on that. And then I grabbed these other images that I wanted to use with that design. So you can see there, I'm planning to just kind of tear that and create my own edger. Now, when I stamped all those card panels, I did have this sketch in mind because this is one I do all the time. It's probably my all-time favorite, Stencil Sensation. This is our background basic stencil set. You get all of these stencils. They fit standard size cards and 5x7 cards. Lots of different shapes and designs you can do with those. And here is where I'm putting all of these ones where I stamped and colored right on a card sized panel. Stamp them in the way that I would want them exactly on the card. So lots of cards going to be made in that using that sketch, but as you can see, all very different. It's not going to get boring. I also decided I wanted to go through my stash of Christmas die cut sentiments. For some of those cards, I would love to use some die cut sentiments. It's a great way to keep using those items in your stash, or if you just want to add some of these. Again, all the cards that I make with these are on our blog with a listing of each supply used on every single card right below the card image. But this is a great way to build up your stash, and as you can see, I keep returning to these year after year. I put in the new Christmas one, but then I also have the Jolly, the Merry, the Believe, lots of different ones. Now, the final or one of the final steps here is to prepare blank card panels. So these are again from that watercolor paper, same one I've been using. I've got standard size and 5x7, just cut and ready to go. Did that all in one batch. So the last step will be to just grab each one of those page protectors and finish the cards using those sketches. So like I said, there are more videos coming your way. This is just a little peek where I'm going to show you coloring the painting of the images using our new watercolor inks and how I finish off the cards, creating them from start to finish, one for each one of those sketches. So be sure that you're subscribed. I hope you're as excited as me for making Christmas cards. Like I said, this is the most fun I've had in making Christmas cards in a long time, and I made so many, and it was just a really fun process. So here's a little peek at what is to come. Thank you so much for being here. I'd love to know, which sketch are you most excited to see come to life? Or which image did you see today that you really, really love? Leave me a comment below. I read them all, and we will see you soon. Thanks for watching.